welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae, and I am Shanrae. We are on week three, part one of Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. This month, we're talking about power versus authority. I've had a subtopic every single week. This week's subtopic is "and the family." All right, power versus authority and in the family. Okay. All right. So before we get started, good evening. I want to say good evening to my Instagram family, Facebook family, TikTok family, YouTube family, LinkedIn family, Snapchat family, and Threads family. My Threads family. Good evening, everybody. Hey, CJ, it's so good to see you. So good to see you. All right. And there's a part I'm supposed to be able to see your comments over here. I don't know exactly how it works, but it's supposed to show the comments on the stage, and I might have seen it already. Let me see if it's gonna show up or not. I'm not sure, but maybe y'all saw it and it popped up and I didn't see it just yet. All right, so we're gonna move this along. This 30 minutes is gonna come and go quick, but so good to have all of my Facebook, Instagram, all of the family on here. Y'all know I acquired my degrees. Let me move this. This is my website disclaimer. I'm not even going to say it. I've said it a lot down through the years. It's been 7 years. I have repeated the same website disclaimer. And so we're going to move this along. I've acquired my degrees from Ashford University. That's my bio. This is the scripture that I've used for, I'm using for the year. And let me go back. The scripture is from Deuteronomy 31:6, NIV version. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified of them because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you, nor will he forsake you. Okay. CJ says, good evening, everybody. And I'll be checking on try to check on my other sites as well. I forgot. These are my key points here. And let me go back. So let's go over the key points for tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk about how the family power influences decision making. Number 2, the types of family power. Number 3, the process of power in families. Number 4, outcomes of family power. Number 5, emotional and psychological impact of power within the family. And then, of course, 6 and 7 is our takeaway and our quote. All right. Hey, Lima. Hey, Lima, how you doing? Good to see you tonight, Lima. All right, so we're going to move on. Y'all, I hope everybody had a wonderful day today. I had a long day, but I thank God it was a blessing. It's a blessing to be any day above ground is a blessing. All right, so let's talk about the dynamics of family power, influence, decision-making, and relationships, okay? And we're going to start. Hey, Prefka, how you doing? So, what is family power? All right, so let's answer that question. Family power refers to the ability of individuals within a family to influence the behaviors, the decisions, and the attitudes of others within the family. It is important to understand that family power does not always operate in a clear-cut or overt manner. Instead, it can be subtle and often woven into the fabric of everyday interactions and roles. But power in the family is not just about control, all right? It's not just about control, but about shaping and guiding the family dynamics, influencing everything from daily routines to long-term decisions. Okay, so it's present in both big and small families, small moments as well. And whether it's the authority a parent has over their children or child, their child's curfew, or the way decisions about how their finances are made between partners. I'm gonna pause here. My Aunt Wanda raised her children a certain way, wound up raising her children, her grandchildren, the same way. Hey, Lorenzo. And I love the way Aunt Wanda always taught them financial responsibility. So from little on, she allowed them as small children. She would give them a budget and allow them. She would tell them, if you blow it all at one time, this is it until you get paid again. And so they had to learn, her children and her grandkids, they had to learn how to budget. So by the time it was time for them to graduate high school and all of that, they were really good with budgeting their incomes. She made sure that each of them got jobs when they were 14 and 15. Out of their paychecks went into their accounts, their savings accounts. They took a portion of that paycheck, and she said, budget it. You're not going to blow your entire paycheck. And this is what this is talking about. Like, one of the things it's talking about with the family dynamics. And again, when they graduated high school and everything, they were really good with their money, saving money, knew how to save it, how to put it away, how to budget it, and all of that. And so this is one of the things that this is talking about this evening, about how family dynamics are. So the next thing is how family power influences decision making. All right, and so let me move this along, because y'all know I will start talking, and the PowerPoint will stay exactly where it's been the whole time. Okay, so how family power influences decision making. Power dynamics in families shape how decisions are made. Once again, who gets to say, who gets a say in those decisions, whose preferences are considered most important. And in families where one person holds more power, decisions may be made unilaterally with little input from others. So on the other hand, families with a more balanced distribution of power may involve open discussions where each member's voice is heard. Now, how many y'all, those of y'all that are under a certain age, 30 and under, 35 and under, a lot of y'all don't remember the TV show Archie Bunker. Archie Bunker, some of y'all will probably remember with Weezy, the Jeffersons, because they still do a lot of memes with George Jefferson doing that backwards dance. He was nice with that backward dance too. But back then it was the Jeffersons, it was Archie Bunker, and Archie Bunker, it was a unified marital unit. It was a husband, a wife, Edith Bunker, and their daughter, Gloria. Then she wound up marrying Michael Stivic, and then they had a child. But Archie Bunker was that's it. Whatever Archie Bunker said, Professor said absolutely. This is what the family dynamic here is talking about, where one has the power over everything, and when that one person says something, that's it. What they said had to go. And Archie Bunker was that one person. When he put his foot down, nobody could say anything. What he said went. That's the type of family that Archie Bunker portrayed, but that was considered normal back in the 60s and 70s. Previgo, that was the 60s and the 70s, right? And some of the 80s too, in the 80s, with that type of family style. Then we're coming down to the Huxtable family with the family unit. And you had Bill Cosby as the father, Felicia Rashad as the mother, and they had their entire family unit. Okay. And so with that was more of a unilateral type family, where whatever the husband, whatever he said, it had to be a joint type of what did she say? She said right. It had to be joint between he and his wife. They had to be on one accord with the decisions that was being made with that family. And so was more like how things have become nowadays in a family. So where the husband and the wife both are making, they're standing on the same decisions. Excuse me. When it comes to the family. Okay, so now we're gonna go over very quickly the types of power. We talked about this last week, but I'm just gonna go over it because when we're talking about the family unit, the definitions are slightly different. So types of family power. It says family power is not a one-size-fits-all concept. Different forms of power can exist within families, each contributing in unique ways to family dynamics. There are several bases of family power, with each form playing a distinct role in influencing how family decisions are made, relationships are shaped, and how overall family well-being is impacted. Number one is legitimate power. Let me open this up so y'all can see this, and then we're going to close it back. Number one is legitimate power. We talked about this last Thursday, but it had a different definition than this one tonight. Legitimate power in the form of power that comes from an individual position or role within the family in many cases. This is the authority granted to parents or older family members based on their age, their experience, or their societal norms. For example, parents typically hold legitimate power over their children, allowing them to make decisions regarding the child's education, their discipline, and other key aspects of the child's well-being. So this is legitimate power, which is often unquestioned and widely accepted, especially in hierarchical family structures. Okay? They said that this power can be effective when it comes to maintaining order and structure within the family. Now I'm going to move on to informational power. Informational power is derived from knowledge or expertise. This type of power operates within the family where certain individuals hold knowledge or information that others depend on. For example, a parent who is well versed in financial matters, like I was talking about my Aunt Wanda, may have the informational power to make important decisions about family budgeting. Similarly, an older sibling with more experience or knowledge about technology might have informational power over younger siblings when it comes to setting up a computer or explaining how social media works. So that is informational power. Now let's move on to reverent power. Reverent power is a form of power based on admiration, respect, or affection in the context of family members. So this often refers to the influence of individuals, who are highly respected or loved by other people. Like in different cultures, Nana, Grandma, Mima, Mama. When Grandma or Papa says something, everybody listens, everybody respects, and everybody follows those instructions. They may not always like it, but they don't challenge it because it's that type of reverent power. And I know I come from that type of background where my grandparents, if they set the order, then that's the order that we was going to follow. Okay, so that's reverent power. It says a charismatic or emotionally supportive family member may possess reverent power that allows them to influence the decisions and actions of others simply through their relationships or their emotional connections. All right, so that's reverent power. So we're going to move on now to the process of power within the family. Okay, and let's move this on. I think I'm doing all right, y'all. I think I'm doing all right by moving these PowerPoints along with my strategies. The process of power, okay, within families. There we are. I think we're doing all right. So the process of power within families. Previca said we have lost that. Yes, we have. We really this generation and even the generation before this one have totally lost reverent power within the family. When I say they don't care and they don't respect anybody, they don't respect themselves a lot of times. Kashima said, yes, you are, and the topic is good. Hey, Victoria, hi. Thank you, Lima. Unfortunately, the newer generations, these younger generations, they have no type of respect for reverent power at all. They could care less. They could care less about how old a person is, how wise they may be, how many years they lived on this earth. And unfortunately, because a lot of these young people feel like they know everything, they know it all, and they can't be told anything. And so you are absolutely right, Prevka. We have lost that within generations. I believe we can get it back, though. I believe we can. We really can. And we're talking about some strategies how we can maybe start implementing these things, because all is not lost. Okay, we can, if the person is willing to learn, and if they're willing to open up and understand the importance of certain things, and they're willing to incorporate it into their lives, yes, that can still, we can bring it back to that, even in this great existence of social media and technology, right? So let's keep going. The process of power in families. So the process of power in families is not static. It evolves over time as family members age, change roles, and shift responsibilities. Family power is dynamic, shaped by individual actions, their interactions, and the larger family structure. The exercise of power within the family can follow several key processes. And we're going to talk about a couple of these key processes right now. Number one, the power of negotiation. That's a process. Family power is often negotiated, particularly in families where multiple members share decision-making responsibilities. Power negotiation involves discussions and compromises to determine who will hold power in different situations. For example, in a family with two working parents, the responsibility for decision-making might be divided. One parent might take the lead on financial matters, while the other might handle household tasks. Power negotiation allows families to balance authority and ensure that everyone's needs are considered. All right, so number two is power reinforcement. So power reinforcement, and this is all up in here. Power reinforcement is occurs when an individual or a group consistently. Prefka said, okay, I'm sorry. I was seeing the same thing. Power reinforcement. This reinforcement can happen through everyday behaviors, such as a parent continually making decisions about what their children will do during the weekend, or a family member habitually making suggestions that are then accepted by others within the family. Over time, this reinforces their position of power in the family, even without explicit discussions of authority. So I'm gonna give you an example with this one: power reinforcement. When I started having my family, my husband and I, us coming from New York, and everybody knows, they say New Yorkers will be late to their own funerals, because New Yorkers most of the time are late with everything. So I had to start learning. I started praying when I started having the children, because I was embarrassed everywhere I was going, and I was being late and all of that. And I wanted to break that cycle. I didn't want to introduce that to my children or anything like that. And Prefka said that the family dynamics have changed. Yes, they have. They have changed. But you know what? A lot of us, there's still a lot of us that still hold on to our foundational family teachings, and we've passed it along with our children who are now adults. And I really stand on the fact that when you teach someone the right thing to do, they may stray a little bit, but they'll eventually curve back around and come right back around to positive, wonderful, great teachings. And so the family dynamics have changed. And the reason why they've changed a lot of times is because the nucleus family is not as strong as it once was. And then unfortunately, one of the parents, if not both, may be totally immature. And then they operate like this in front of their children. And then so all of that is passed along. And Prevka said it's true. So, but it doesn't mean that those children will remain that way. because I'm you know, the old saying is experience is the best teacher. I'm saying no, embarrassment is the best teacher. You get embarrassed enough, trust me, you get and get embarrassed enough in front of people or in situations where you care. Oh, that brings about change. It really does. It really does. Okay, so power of reinforcement. I was saying something, but I forgot. So I'm gonna move on. When it come back, I'll say it then. Okay, number 3 is power redistribution. Hey, loving daughter, how you doing? It's good to see you. Kashima said, and it depends on their parents. Yup, you right. Yeah, you certainly right about that. It depends on their parents. Yep. Okay, so power redistribution. So power can be redistributed over time as family dynamics change. For example, as children grow older and gain more independence, they may begin to challenge or negotiate the power dynamics that once favored their parents. In the same way, a parent who becomes less physically able may experience a redistribution of power to their children or other family members who takes on more caregiving responsibilities. So family power is fluid, and it reflects the ongoing shifts within the roles, responsibilities, and relationships within the family unit. And so we know that, again, Prevka is laughing. We do know that as time brings about a change, you don't even have to get older. God forbid if somebody gets into a severe accident, or they become ill at a young age, and they can't do what they used to do, and then everybody has got to work together. My father died. My sisters and our father died when we were very young. I was 11 when my dad died, and I'm the oldest. And one thing my mother always taught us, she said, if we stick together and if we pull together and if we work together, we can make it and we can do anything together. But we have to do it together in order to make it. My husband and I taught our children the same thing. Listen, together we can do anything. Okay. And so anything can happen where the family dynamics can change. And so that's what's going on from there when it comes from power redistribution. So now, outcomes of the family power. And let me move this on. We are almost done. Outcomes of the family power. Let me open this up a little bit so y'all can see it. Outcomes of the family power. The way that power is exercised within family units can lead to positive or negative outcomes, depending on how it is used and balanced. Here are some potential outcomes of family and of power family. Loving daughter says that my mom taught us the very same thing. Really? That's so cool. Your mom taught the same thing, like together. Yeah, y'all know the old saying, divided we fall, but together we stand. That's good to know that, and to see on here how other people's family members taught them the exact same thing. Yes. Wow. So it's really basically that old saying that divided we fall, but together we stand, or together we stand and divided we fall. I might have said it the wrong way, But outcomes of family, what, and I still stand on that. Y'all know, I was a special education teacher in middle school for a number of years before I had to retire medically. And even teaching these things to my students, I would teach them and show them how we can win every time if we stand together. And I was so grateful how they would take these things, take these sayings, and they would take it back home and say, I told my friend, I told my, you know how these middle schoolers are, and for them to glean and to learn about different things like this, and to learn if you can stick together, I'm telling you, you can rise to the top. Yes. So outcomes of family power. The way power is exercised within family units can lead to positive or negative outcomes, depending on how it is used and balanced. Here are some potential outcomes. Number one is healthy family relationships. Healthy family relationships, something that I believe we've all strived for. My cousin Prevka, I got cousins on all of the social medias right now. My cousin Prevka is on Instagram. My cousin Loving Daughter. My cousins Lima, Kashima, they're on Facebook. I have family on different sites here. I'm looking at I can only see who's right now who is actually giving comments. But I have family members on here who are actually saying the same thing how they was taught. Loving Daughter, and Jamal. Oh, Jamal. Hi, Jamal. My cousin Jamal. That's my baby cousin. Kashima and Jamel are my cousins. My baby cousins on here. But to hear about healthy family relationships, Pravika says, yup, Pravika said that a house divided against itself will not stand. I'm telling you. So a healthy family relationship, they have got to stick together in order for the family to be healthy. So let's see what it's saying. When power is balanced and shared within the family, it can lead to healthy, respectful relationships where each member feels valued and heard. For instance, families where power is negotiated, where each person's input is considered, tend to have open communication and mutual respect. This leads to better decision making and overall well-being for all family members. And this is a good way to have healthy family relationships. Loving Daughter, or what else she said? Hey, Jamel. Okay. Number 2, family conflict. Now, every family has had conflict. So don't sit there and act like, oh, not mine. Sure. Every family, even healthy families have had conflict at some point within the family, or what, at several points in the family. So on the flip side, when one person or group holds too much power and fails to consider the needs and opinions of others, it can lead to family conflict. So this can happen in situations where a parent exerts too much control over their children, or when one partner dominates decisions within the relationship. Over time, this imbalance of power can create resentment, frustration, and even emotional harm, resulting in strained relationships and diminished family well-being. So, and a lot of us know this about conflicts within the family. Miss Victoria said having them right now. Yeah, but you know what? It's going to get better. Oh, it's going to get better. The conflict may be happening right now. Oh, but it's going to get better. Can I see some hand raises within the comments that stands with us and with Miss Victoria? Oh, that is going to get better. It's going to get better. Loving Daughter said that is true. All families have conflict. It is about how we work together to resolve such conflicts. Yes, and listen, let's just be candid. Y'all have seen some conflicting situations with me and my sibling on social media, which it was blown out of proportion. Perceptions it was just misconceived perceptions, and it was a lot of feelings that was ballooned, out of context with the conflict. But I'm standing that things are going to get better. Things will get better. Somebody has got to stand and say, listen, we can agree to disagree. I'm not sitting here holding grudges. Life is too short. I'm going to love my family. I'm going to love them anyway. And that one day I'm trusting that they will see things from a different scope, a different perspective, and that we can come right back around again and love each other and be family. That's why I can sit here and say, things will get better. Victoria said, absolutely, it's going to get better. Loving Daughter says, yes, it will get better. Sometime that's what it needs. Okay. But like I said, you all have seen publicly with me and my sibling, where things were misconstrued. They were misconstrued, just blown out of proportion or whatever. But again, somebody is got to stand and say, listen, I'm here. I'm here when you're ready. I still love you. I'm here when you're ready. Just go on and work it out, work some things out. But I'm still here and I'm still standing. We're still family. And I still love you. And I'm saying that that's why I can tell y'all it's going to get better. It's going to get better. We all have had family conflict. Victoria said absolutely. And a lot of y'all know who I'm talking about. I got one sibling left, y'all. Y'all know what's going on. And those of us that are saved, we really know what's going on. But we stand on the word of God. I ain't going to preach. Let me move on. Okay? But that's why I said, let me see a show of hands. We all are standing on the word of God. We know what God can do. And we're standing on that. And things are going to get better. All right. So number 3 is emotional and psychological impact. Okay, so the way that power is used in the family can also affect the emotional and psychological well-being of its members. I'm going to pause here because I am a therapist. I'm a counselor. I'm a degree counselor. I have had 13 years with doing private counsel sessions. This right here, emotional and psychological impact, most of my private clients on the side, the foundation, the root of this a lot of times have come from family where the power was misconstrued, the power was imbalanced, the power was off, and they're trying to get over and get through and get over the whatever happened with that being with under a family member that had a little bit too much power. One of my coworkers today was talking with me, and we got to be careful sometimes because everybody is not doesn't believe believers like we are. But I did say to the person, because she's having headaches, she told me that she believes that it stems, these headaches, these migraines have stemmed from, she had an abusive step parent, and they used to hit her in the back of the head. And I just said, my God. And I said, I'm praying that things are going to get better. You're going to get well. You're going to get better. Go to the doctors, let them check you out. But things are going to get better. That pain, you're going to be relieved from that pain. And it's going to get better. So this is what it's talking about here. Emotional and psychological impacts. The way that power is sometimes used within a family and how it affects people emotionally and psychologically with their well-being. Individuals sometimes feel powerless, and they also feel neglected within families, and they may experience feelings of insecurity, anxiety, or low self-esteem because of this. Conversely, now on the other side, those who feel empowered and respected may have a stronger sense of self-worth and better mental health outcomes. But it's essential that families strive for a balance of power that promotes emotional support, healthy boundaries, and mutual respect. All right. So we're going to leave this with a question. What do you think? Have you noticed how power dynamics play out in your own family? How does the balance of power influence your decisions and your relationships? Okay. And we already see how some people have shared on here. There have been conflict within their families. But like I said, we're standing on the fact that things are going to get better. Conflict is a part of life, period. I remember years ago, I was in a leadership seminar. I've always been in leadership in church and work and stuff like that. And I remember I was in a leadership seminar, and one of the leaders stood up and said that conflict is not always necessarily a bad thing. And so I stopped and looked. I said, "Excuse me." And they said, I know, they call me by my first name, Shanrae. I know, Shanrae, I know you feel that conflict is negative, but it's not always a negative thing. And they broke it down about how conflict shows people who they are. It shows you your strengths. It shows you your weaknesses. It helps you overcome certain things. Or it helps, or sometimes it helps shrink people, but it still shows you who you are. And I said, and they was like, of course, conflict is uncomfortable, but sometimes conflict is necessary. And so as I got older and older down through the years, I started noticing, and I started realizing that conflict, it helps bring things to light, and it helps things get better if you want things to get better. Okay, with that. And that's a whole nother topic. Victoria said, that's good. That's good. And we're going to move on because y'all know this 30 minutes is up. Let me move this on. We're going to move to our takeaway. Hold on. Let's open this up. And then I will see y'all back here on Thursday night for part 2 of this. Our takeaway is family power is a multifaceted and dynamic force that shapes relationships, decision-making, and overall functioning of the family unit. By understanding the different types of family power, how it is exercised, and its potential outcomes, families can strive for a healthier and more balanced distribution of power. This balance fosters communication, it fosters respect and well-being, creating a supportive environment for everyone that is involved. Let's go to our quote for tonight. And let's move this on. And we're going to pick up Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for part 2 of this. All right. Quote is, the strength of family, like the strength of an army, is in its loyalty to each other. I'm going to say that again, and that's by Mario Puzo. The strength of family, like the strength of an army, is in its loyalty to each other. Mario Puzo. All right, so I am going to show you all these really quickly, and then I'll be able to say, this is for my fellow theorists. This is where I got my teachings from for this week. All right, let's move on. BetterHelp. If you are interested in life coaching, www.betterup.com. All right, Add a Plus community. If you are an adult or a young person that has ADD, ADHD, this community and this community here is a great community that gives help and strategies for ADD, OCD, and ADHD. BetterHelp. BetterHelp is licensed clinicians who help the families, who helps individuals and couples. www.betterhelp.com. And then 988 suicide hotline. If you know someone that is in distress or just really struggling, 988 hotline. It's there 24/7, confidential, with the proper people that are on to help you overcome what you are experiencing at the moment. And I'm going to say at the moment, because that's a moment. This is a momentary experience that you're feeling. All right. Cousin Levin says, sometimes we grow from going through conflict. Yeah, you're right. A lot of times we really do. And that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to grow through it. Okay, I'm sorry. I was trying to see something else. What else? And this is learningrx.com. This organization has been functioning for over 30 years. And this is brain training for adults, professionals, children alike. It specializes with people that have ADD, ADHD, if you have memory issues, and if you want to improve your IQ. They have a proven record of people improving their IQ at least 13 points. Learningrx.com. All right, so if there's a past Counsel of the Day with Shanrae that you missed or you just want to rewatch, go to my YouTube channel at Shanrae Price. Like, hit the bell and subscribe. Go and put in Counsel of the Day with Shanrae, and then go to any one of the series, watch it, rewatch it, and enjoy. Also, I am a professional one-on-one counselor. If you're interested in professional one-on-one counseling services, you can contact me via my Facebook Messenger at Shanrae Owens, or you can do it old school at my email at shanrae.price@gmail.com. I am a lifestyle strategist, and my aim is to aid you in your life's goals and your life's dreams. I will see you all Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time sharp. We're going to do part 2 of this, and we're going to delve in again a little bit more about power versus authority within the family, and how we can have healthy family relationships. Y'all have a blessed night. So glad to see y'all. Thank you for joining us tonight. See you Thursday for part 2. Good night, everybody.